Hey, I just wanted to tell you that everything is going to be okay. I promise. This is an idea that has helped me so much in my life because I've been in situations where I've had no money and lots of debt, where I wasn't able to pay my rent, or I was 2 months behind and the landlord was knocking on my door. I've been in situations that seem like everything's hopeless and nothing is going to work out. The idea that allowed me to survive those tough times in my life, and actually the reason why I had those tough times was to show me something so true about life that is always true. It's this truth that everything is always going to be okay. Especially in those situations where things really don't seem like they're going to be okay. Maybe you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, or a loved one is. Maybe you get into a bad accident. Maybe your business completely fails and you run out of money. Maybe the love of your life breaks up with you. In all of these horrible situations, because guys, I know life can be hard. I understand that there is a lot of suffering and doubt and difficulty in life. But in spite of all that, it always seems like there is some kind of higher power that has your back. One of my favorite business teachers, and again, guys, if you're not Christian or if you're not religious at all, I'm not Christian or religious at all. So I totally relate. You don't have to be religious or spiritual to understand what I'm saying here, or to benefit from this idea. Even if you're the atheist, the most atheist of all the atheists, that's completely fine, and you can still benefit from this idea a lot. One of my favorite business mentors, Blake LaGrange, he is like a millionaire and he's doing so well in his businesses, but he's been through a lot of struggle, a lot of tough times like myself. And he said to me, he's like, you know what, guys, as cheesy as it sounds, there's always another loaf of bread. There's this story from the Bible, and again, if you're not into the Bible, that's cool. Just pretend it's not from the Bible. Pretend it's just from another book, where the Israelites are walking through the desert with Moses, and they're starving. There's no food at all. It's dry, and there's nothing to eat. They're literally on their last lifeline, like they're gonna die. I don't know how the exact story goes, but I think Moses instructs them to pray. God tells Moses that if the Israelites believe, if they have faith, then you can just tap your staff on one of these rocks over here and it will turn into manna, which was the name for this like divine food, the food of the gods, manna. So Moses tapped his staff on the rock, and the rock transformed into manna, and the Israelites were shocked, and they shared the food. And as they continued praying, Moses kept doing this, or it was the manna came from the sky, but basically there was a lot of manna, and they were able to get through the desert even through their toughest times. Some higher power provided for them. So in my own personal life, I have found to have this deep, unshakable faith is so important for navigating the stormy waters of life. And it actually has a lot of practical benefits that you may not be able to foresee. Like, for example, when you have this deep faith that things are going to be okay, everything is going to work out, but it might not be in the way you think it is. That's the thing. See, when I say everything's going to work out, you might say, well, Adam, but I didn't get that job promotion that I was praying for, that I wanted. So clearly things didn't work out. But in that moment, I'm telling you, no. Things always work out. Even if it doesn't look like that to your ego mind, to your selfish mind that wants things to go a certain way, you need to have faith that sometimes when you don't get what you want, actually there's a higher plan that's unfolding in the background that maybe you can't see or you can't fully understand, but just have that faith that things are going to work out, best case scenario. Now, even if you have a doubt, like, well, Adam, like, that's such an impractical thing. If I just think everything's going to work out all the time, like, aren't I just being delusional? Isn't this just like toxic positivity? And the answer is absolutely not. Because recently, more and more studies, more and more science has actually been giving us undeniable evidence that your mindset definitely always has an effect on your life. The thoughts, the feelings that you hold determine the way other people react to you, the way events play out in your life. Quantum physics kind of explains it like, when you think a certain thought, it's like you tune your vibration to this one specific lifeline. It's like this one, there's infinite potential timelines that you could map yourself to, but by thinking a certain thought, like everything's going to be okay all the time, which is actually a true thought, then you are more likely to switch to the realm, the lifeline out of the infinite potential parallel realities. You switch to the one where things actually do work out in the long term. So you need to realize that when something looks like it's not working on the surface, you need to remind yourself that it's actually going to work even better in a different kind of way. And this is practical because otherwise, if you don't have this faith that everything's going to work out, then you can become very forceful. You start to act out of fear. You start to force things to go a certain way because you don't have this faith, this relaxed belief that God has got your back. And again, if you don't believe in God, you just replace that with the universe, or just replace that with the quantum field, or however you want to, explain it to yourself. It's so practically helpful and useful to have this faith that I'm taken care of in my life, and that there's always another loaf of bread. And I want you to not just believe me, okay? Don't believe me. I want you to take this idea on for 30 days, okay? So if you're very skeptical, you're a scientifically minded person like myself, good. I want you to actually do a scientific experiment. Test this idea out for 30 days. You can affirm it to yourself. Remind yourself, everything's always working out, best case scenario. Or even better, like just this idea, like everything is going according to a higher plan, and I can just relax and trust and just kind of go with the flow. Do this for 30 days, and I want you to pay very close attention to how when you just kind of allow the circumstances in your life to unfold naturally, and you trust that your prayers for auspiciousness, happiness, and benefit for yourself and for all beings, these prayers, they start to become realized in a sort of spontaneous and effortless way. Keeping in mind that if you're praying, let's say you're praying for a Lamborghini, like, oh God, please give me a Lamborghini, please, that's what I need to be happy. Sometimes you won't get that. And the reason why you won't get it, not because you don't deserve it, but maybe because there's a higher lesson, a deeper lesson that your soul actually needs to learn about life. And that lesson can only be learned by you not getting the Lamborghini. Now check out your values. What are your values? Would you rather have a Lamborghini? Or would you rather have a deeper connection to your soul? And would you rather have a more developed and more mature character? What would you rather have? And if you say, Adam, honestly, like, yeah, mature character, sure, but like, that Lamborghini sounds really good. Like, I could drive it in my town, I could show off to my friends. Think about the girls that would hop into my car. Oh my God. Like, I know mature character, this and that, but like, please, like, kind of want the Lamborghini. Okay. That just means that you didn't learn the lesson yet, that having a specific thing doesn't always give you the happiness that you thought it would. So in order for people to learn that lesson, some people, their soul needs to actually get the Lamborghini and drive it around for a few weeks and realize that they're still suffering and their mind is still angry and craving, and now they want a new car. Or maybe the girls that hop into their car, they're only there because they're gold diggers. They're taking advantage of them. Maybe you realize that by not having a good character, you attract people into your life who also don't have a mature character. And you realize that actually the more important things that are more important than just shiny objects, but really what's underneath the surface. The way you feel on a daily basis. You know that even if you have no money in your bank account, you can still have an amazing day every day. And you might say, well, Adam, but if I have no money in my bank account, then I'm not going to be able to eat food and then I'm going to die. But you're not realizing there's always another loaf of bread. And I literally had to realize this myself by actually having no money in my bank account for a period of time. And to the point where I was literally digging through like quarters in my piggy bank to like go buy an apple from the store. Somehow, some way, there would be food for me. And there would actually be like good food. And I don't know how, but there would be like I would spontaneous, like, I would try my best to trust and to pray. Like this period in my life a couple years ago, like this helped me get closer to have this deep, unshakable faith that like things are always gonna be okay. Somehow, some way, I just would go to my uncle's house for some other reason, and then there would just be like, he would like, hey, you want some lentils? Or I got an extra bag, or in this kind of synchronistic, spontaneous way, I would just kind of like get fed. And I find actually that the less I worry about getting fed, and the more I live my life as if there's always going to be another bit of manna, another loaf of bread. then have more mental real estate that's freed up. I have more mental energy that's used to go to the worrying, that's now freed up. And now I can do something beneficial with my energy. So there were times in my life a few years ago where even though my landlord was like, hey, like, you gotta pay, like, it's like way late. It's like, hey, yeah, I know, I got it, I just need a couple more days, you know, this, that, right? I'm trying my best. Still having this unshakable faith in that state of mind. There's like this huge June bug on me. Excuse me. He's like kamikazing into my... Okay, I guess he can stay. At the exact time the June bug landed on me, someone came and walked up and went through my shot. So it was like God was like telling me to pause. And like just in the second the guy left, the June bug flew away. So yeah, all I'm saying is you need to start to look for this in your life. Start to realize that things are always working out best case scenario. Even when it seems like they're not, they actually are. And yeah, like a practical thing like that you can implement is to notice how when you're worrying all the time about things not working and you're anxious and you're afraid that the universe is gonna like leave you out to dry, realize that in that scenario, everything's still working out. So a great action step that you can actually apply is to learn to accept the worst case scenario. This is very powerful. When you catch yourself worrying that things aren't going to work out the way that you want them to, you are worried you're going to run out of money, your house is going to get evicted, etc. You can actually go into the future and imagine what is the worst possible thing that could happen. Like, I actually get evicted from my house, and okay, can you be okay with that? You might say, no, Adam, absolutely not. I can't be okay with that. Okay, so in that case, there's attachment and clinging there, okay? And that is the source that is ruining your life in many other areas. Not only in your career, because now you're anxiously working because you can't accept the worst case scenario, but now you're going to be wasting your entire life kind of like chasing your tail, trying to avoid this thing that you can't accept. So that's going to ruin your relationship with your family. It's going to make you a stressed out person. You're going to hate your life. But if you can develop the capacity and really develop that inner character strength, where you're really able to honestly, genuinely be okay with that scenario of losing your cherished house, or your girlfriend breaks up with you, or your favorite car gets a scratch. When you can accept the bad thing, the thing you're so worried about, if you can like kind of be okay with it, now you can chill out and your mind can be more present. You can enjoy your life more. You can actually be more resourceful, and there's actually a lower likelihood of the bad thing happening. I want you to pay attention in your life where when you worry a lot about something going wrong, it has a much higher tendency of going wrong because the universe is almost trying to spite you. And not in like a malicious way, but in a loving way. Like it's trying to show you that, hey, the thing went wrong. Look, I'm going to make it go wrong for you, and you're still good. You're still alive. And this is the ultimate worst case scenario. Can you accept death? Maybe you don't spend much time thinking about death. Maybe you're a little shy about death, but hey, there's nothing to be shy about. Everyone does it. Everyone dies. Including you. So it's good to ask yourself this question: will I die? And really contemplate it. Like really, like, don't just like say, oh yeah, obviously I'm gonna die, and then just like go back to playing video games. Like really contemplate, like, will I die? And what does that mean to die? And how do I feel when I think about this question, will I die? And can I start to learn that death isn't just one event that happens at the end of my life. Death is actually happening in every moment, right? Science says that there's like millions of cells in your body that are dying every minute. And then they're getting replaced with other cells. Also, even just the moment itself is dying, it's changing to a different moment. Like, look, the sun is setting. The sunset died. It's not there anymore. It used to be there, now it's gone. So everything is impermanent, everything is temporary. Every experience you've ever had in your life has a birth, it has a brief, short time of existence, and then it dies. It dissolves. So can you connect more deeply with that, realizing that things are always being born, existing, and dying in every single moment? And can you develop the capacity to be okay with that? The way to do that is to meditate, okay? To sit for 20, 30 minutes a day and to just kind of like be present and watch experiences be born, exist, and die. This is something I talk about in this video here. So if you want to learn how to meditate properly for beginners, you can check that out for more details. Otherwise, I just want to leave you with a final note that, hey, even if you're going through a tough time and you seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, I want to tell you that there's always another loaf of bread. And if you can use the gift of being born, the gift of being alive, having a body, use this gift to develop the capacity of utter and complete total faith and surrender. Surrender your attachments. Surrender your fear. Surrender your anxiety and your doubt that things aren't going to work out. Surrender that, and just, if you can accept the worst case scenario and you can genuinely be okay with dying, or you can genuinely be okay with being poor or dying a nobody, being useless in your life, having no benefit, like if all of your goals fail, can you accept that? If you can, then your life is now free to become amazing and beautiful. Because now you're not clinging and attached anymore, and now you can kind of just enjoy each passing moment as it arises and passes away, and you can just be fully there, and you can enjoy life. All right, that's what I talk about here on this channel. You can subscribe for more videos like this, and you can click that meditation video that I recommended to learn this for yourself. I also have a free community where we meditate once a week together, and we talk about this stuff. Meditation is not easy, so we help and stuff. So if you're interested in that, come join. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.